And then I started watching somebody named Dumpling, Vasily
Mhm.
Kamatsky. I started watching him, and he was my size. You know what I mean? He's my category. He's a bully. You know, he was going up against all kinds of small guys, smaller guys like 130, 120 pound guys, like barely 100 pounds, and he was like 400 pounds. So um, at the time, I said, you know what? I want to do it. I want to bully the bully.
Fans, welcome to the Zapata Brand podcast. Well, we have a special guest today. My next guest was the main event in Power Slap's inaugural event in Abu Dhabi. He is the super heavyweight champion of Power Slap, Layne, the Crazy Hawaiian Viernes. And he takes a few minutes to reflect on that event. Layne, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just recovering from some jet lag. I mean, Abu Dhabi, dude.
I know. Let me ask you first. How was that? How was that getting over there?
Amazing. It's unbelievable. 10 out of 10 place. Like, I can't believe it exists, you know?
Well, I saw an interview with you and you were a little apprehensive going. You seemed like you were a little nervous getting over there. How was it was it the travel, or was it just you didn't know what to expect?
It was my first time out of the country, so and also I was I felt some type of way because I went by myself.
Oh, you didn't have anybody with you?
No, it was it God has a funny way of saying, hey, you don't need nobody, I got you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And did you feel comfortable when you got there?
I felt the hospitality was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't anything they could have done any better to make me feel at home. You know.
Well, they say the safest place in the world is Abu Dhabi with Dana White there.
Yeah, it's I felt honored. I felt honored for the first time in my career of slapping people in the face because let's just face it, it's not like the best thing to do to people, you know.
Right.
So when I was there, I felt honored to do what I'm doing. In an entertainment aspect, I was treated with with the utmost respect, royalty. They made me feel like I was really somebody.
So the fans that were there treated you very well, I would assume.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. And the kids, man, the youth that ran up to me they were just ready, to get any possible, like they wanted a shirt off my back. Um, it was just really humbling, and also really a defining moment in my career where I felt honored, absolutely honored to do what I'm doing.
Well, let's turn our attention to the fight there last Thursday. You came in at 420 pounds. Is that the heaviest you've been?
Heaviest I'm gonna be. This I've used my weight to my advantage, and everyone can see that. um I ate everything. I don't, I'm not gonna be this big ever again.
Right.
um my career being at it, the peak, being at the top,
Mhm.
I feel like I've used my weight to my advantage, and now there is no one else for me. So I'm gonna be dropping down to heavyweight, and people
To
are see how serious I am.
to the heavyweight division.
That's 160 pounds, brother.
That's what I'm saying. That's a big drop. Are you prepared to do that?
Yeah, I feel like people say the last thing to go is the power. So I'm not worried about it. I know I got a chin. Um, I feel like my power is just hidden underneath this 400-pound body. I feel like I'm going to be faster, more agile, and I feel like I'm going to be double champ and pull the Conor McGregor of the.
Well, let's talk about that for the slap fight in general here. Vasily Kamatsky, Dumpling, he was someone, when you were on my show last time, you said that was your goal. He had not yet signed with Power Slap.
Right.
And probably, I would say, a month after that, believe it or not, he signed. So I kind of reached out to him, and I knew this was going to happen at some point, and immediately they made the fight. I looked at some of his previous fights, And I think you were correct. He seemed like a bit of a bully because he was slapping some people that were about 160 pounds.
Right.
So I was interested to see, okay, now here's a test for him to go against someone who legit can slap. And in my opinion, I thought you would rock them about 2 or 3 times out of the 5 slaps you had.
Right.
And one other thing I wanted to point out, and I excuse my ignorance because I want to get your opinion on this. The way he stands, his shoulders appear to be in the way of a pure slap. Was that an issue? Because I saw you complaining about his shoulders. Was that an issue during the fight?
Yeah, I had to initially. I had to adapt on the fly because
Mhm,
I didn't know he was gonna do that. And before that, days prior, we did face off, and I saw the level of his shoulders,
mhm.
and I told myself if he all he has to do is like round five, his shoulders were down, his
Oh,
you
that was
know
brutal when you
yeah,
slapped.
and
Round 5 got
I
him.
was able to finally get a good slap
Mhm,
in in round five. I feel like every other slap before that, I had to change my trajectory. I had to change my placement of my hand because I was about to hit his shoulder instead of, you know, my slap bout before that versus Danny Van Heerden from South Africa. He raised his shoulder on me once, and my hand kind of slid, you know, all over his shoulder. Like, well, actually, it hit his my fingers hit his shoulder, and they
mhm.
caught clubbing. So,
Yes.
and I didn't want that to happen on this one. So my trajectory went from kind of a roundhouse hook
Mhm,
to a more of a kind of almost a straight overhand almost, but also um my elbow my elbow wasn't in the place where it normally is. It was more down. I had to kind of almost throw it from the bottom up, and so I had to adapt on the fly right then and there. People don't know how hard that is, knowing and visualizing a knockout for about a month, and then finally going up there and not being able to actually see what you've envisioned a month prior, and having to adapt on the fly in that setting with a whole bunch of people. You're in another country. Nerves can get to you. You can forget everything that you've ever trained for in the past. Um, that was daunting on me. And then I would hit him, and I would know, you know, that wasn't a clean hit, or that wasn't how I wanted to hit him, and on to the next round. So adapting on the fly was kind of a daunting task while I was doing it. But I tried my best, and everyone can see that his shoulders needs to be down the way they're telling me to put my shoulders down, but I couldn't put them any more down,
right.
So
Let me ask you, what would happen if you did hit the shoulder on that strike?
um, uh, I don't know if you saw it. Well, you did see it, but I pretty much I had to hit the shoulder too a little bit,
Okay.
on some of them. If I hit the shoulder even more, that would mitigate even more of my slap, and it wouldn't be as effective. I feel like he was more affected by my slaps than I was his. Um, the flinching, we were talking about that too.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't realize I flinched until I sat there and used my time to look at the screen and watch myself because I didn't
Right.
believe. And then when I saw it, all right, yeah,
Yeah,
I,
you accepted it.
yeah.
So
So
so does that count as a strike if it hits the shoulder and then hits the chin? Would that be
yeah, it
it does?
depends. No, it depends on the commissioners. It depends on the officials at the time to call it when it's supposed to be called. I feel like they mostly. did an all right job. We're still growing as a sport. The officials are still, learning um, how to, properly call things, and I think they did a wonderful job. With the whole thing. Um, there's there's more that they could have done in the beginning, but they at least caught it, identified it in the fight. That was the
Right.
main thing for me, that they was able to identify what was actually happening. Regardless if it was at the end of the fight, beginning of the fight, um, they was able to identify it, and it wasn't just me. It wasn't just people watching. It was people there. Um, Herzog actually, told him to put his shoulders down before I take a point, and it was multiple times where he said it. And by the time he did it properly on the fifth round, I finally got a clean hit on him. Um, they changed a whole bunch of things. Um, like I wasn't able to wear my elbow brace, where I kind of need that. I have now I have to work out my elbow tendons, whatever you call it. But I kind of blew that out a little bit, and I'm recovering on my hand now.
So let's go through the fight there. The first slap that you both had a piece, I thought were kind of like a warm up slap, if you would. But then when you started slapping him consistently, if you noticed, I don't know if you, I think, I don't know if you looked at him when it was going. Anytime he walked back, he had a wobble. That's the way he walks normally, but it got a little more pronounced as round 3, 4. But then he would go to the chalk box and he'd lean on it. Is that legal or no?
Um, no one ever actually really thought about asked that question. I'm gonna ask that on the next one. Um,
Because
it's
he was hurt really bad that last one, and you could tell because when he struck you on that last one, that was nothing. He really didn't even he wound up and he didn't have anything on it. And if you eat the ones the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, you're eating that one easy. He
right,
was hurt really bad in that one. So
right.
that would be something I think would have to be quite come into question is how hurt do you think he really was?
I think visually he was hurt. As much as I could hurt him, uh, it's a hurt game, man.
Mhm,
There's not only so much you can do, and whenever I hit him on the fifth round, I kind of knew that. Well, I felt like I've lost my belt because of my penalties, because he didn't have any.
mhm,
But I realized that if you take, there's two options. You can take a slap or you can take a minus point, for your opponent. If all he had to do was take the minus points, and he would have walked away with that belt.
mhm,
But some people can be greedy, and I took the most slaps on the card, 7 total, and I felt like I almost ate a whole box of pizza right after. It was crazy, you know.
The craziest thing is that you didn't really flinch from well, when you got hit, there wasn't an effect. I didn't think there was a much of effect on you. And they did a slow motion when that slap hit you. And I'm going to put it in this podcast. The sweat and the amount of impact that it has, and you basically just looked right back at him. That itself has got to be very intimidating and discouraging for Dumpling. It didn't affect him.
Right. I I text Dana White. I said, we should have a best chin of the night. It's got to be a thing.
Mhm,
Knockouts are cool, but I think a lot more people are actually liking the fact that people can take a slap. You
mhm.
know, and watching, I truly didn't feel anything. I don't know if it's just adrenaline up there or what, but it's like I had a guardian angel with me, man, and I didn't feel nothing. And I've been looking at this guy, preparing for him for a long time.
Mhm.
So obviously we're gonna need a rematch, and I'm gonna come back in just a different person, on the rematch, and people are gonna see that.
Two things with that. Number one, if you is there bad blood between you two?
Right now, yeah, I think we, because of the event before, it was like cordial. we would talk crap to each other. His translator would say something like, "Oh, he said sleep," or he said night night, or whatever it is. Um, we really wanted to knock each other out.
Mm.
Um, the bad blood is as real as it could get, but it's not like very disrespectful or anything like that. I think the next time he comes, to America, I'm gonna put a little bit disrespect on his name. um we were in Abu Dhabi, and you can't do too much disrespectful things there. So um I tried to keep it cordial a little bit, but I also wanted to show people that I meant business, and I wanted to bully the bully. I watched it back, and the narrative of the story was on point. I think Michael Bisping and everyone had painted that picture, um in the aspects of us being rivals, and having real hate, because I really do see him as a bully still. um
Mm.
and the way that he walks around with him and his people, I think that he feels untouchable. And I felt like they didn't realize what they're getting themselves into when until after until after I ate every one of his slaps like it was nothing. I feel like now they have to put respect on my name. If not, then there's gonna be a lot more animosity and a lot more hate to come on the next one. There's gonna be a rematch, and there's gonna be a lot more disrespect for sure. If it
So
ain't in Saudi,
what's that now?
if it ain't in Saudi,
Okay, and that's what I was going to ask you. Do you want the rematch to be in the States?
I do. I would love for it to be in Hawaii, Florida, or I mean anywhere in the states really, but Hawaii would be amazing. I think even everyone else would love to be in Hawaii. Everyone else on the Power Slap employee roster. You know what I mean? So I feel like you couldn't take my belt from me in neutral ground. Now you have to come into my hometown, into my stomping grounds, and try it again. You know, he
Right.
obviously thinks he won. You saw his post fight. Uh, they need to learn the rules. They need to learn that there's a technical aspect, not just slapping people in the head. We had the crowd cheering one more round. I think that's going to be a thing. Dana said in a post that he's got to look it up and talk to the commissioners. But wouldn't that be so fun to think that, wow, we got another round coming? And I mean, they do it on the contender series. You know what I mean? They do it on for football. So I mean, I'm happy to change the game. You know what I mean?
Well, you've been changing the game here for years. I mean, no
Right.
one has seen somebody like you coming down the pipe in a power slap like you. Now, let me ask you again. You said something about the decision. Did that surprise you?
It really did. I went up there, and I was already telling Dana, Frank, and Erica, the three heads of it. No matter the outcome, I need my rematch. And what I was really saying was, I'm okay with giving him my belt, because my performance wasn't what it supposed to be in my eyes. I was already disappointed by slap five when he stood there. And I mean, yeah, he was dazed, he was wobbled, he was a little bit confused too.
Mhm.
Um, but I really feel like deep down inside, I was okay with handing my belt over, because as a champ, you should have been performing at my highest. And I feel like, I didn't. I really felt like in the moment of them holding our hands and about to announce my opponent, the winner, I felt like, man, I didn't do enough. And I flinched twice. I'm the only one with fouls. But I remember the rules. And I also ate every single one of his slaps that he gave, even the extra ones. I did flinch twice, but I took 7 slap more than anyone on the card from the second biggest guy on the card. Supposedly the monster of it all, you know,
Mhm.
the best of the best that the world can offer. And I mean, who's next? You know,
Well, obviously, you are now still the best of the best. You can walk out there with a draw. It came out being a draw. You still retain your championship. Excuse me. But my question would be, do you go for a rematch next or move on to a bigger opponent and solidify your legacy as the ultimate power slap super heavyweight champion of all time?
right? There's almost a like a seesaw because I could go either way. I could go, you know, I could go down or I could stay here. But something's telling me that I need to go and feast in another category. Something's really calling me to the heavyweight category. I want to become a double champ. I want to pull the Conor McGregor of this sport. I want to do it before anyone else. Um, you know, I was destined for this, and I just want to prove, you know, to myself especially that my kids and their kids will, um, you know, they deserve to talk about their great grandpa. You know what I mean?
Right. And now let me ask you this, just hypothetically speaking, let's just say the Hawaiian Hitman goes out to be heavyweight champion of the world. You move down from super heavyweight to heavyweight. You're you want to have that legacy of being double champ, but your brother is heavyweight champ. Is that something you'd be willing to put on the line there? Because it would be the first ever, I think, in any combat sport where two brothers would compete against each other for the ultimate crown. What are your
Right.
thoughts on that?
I feel like my drive to be the greatest that ever did it will overcome any I mean, you know, I'm that guy in my family. You know, I'm that guy to set the tone, to set the example. Um the 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 drive I have right now to be the heavyweight champ is kind of scary. People look at me and like what you said, is that safe? Is it, are you going to be okay? People look at me with concern because 160 pounds is a person,
Yeah.
you know. um well, it's about 100 and maybe 20 for my brother, which, you know, that's 40 pounds difference. And you know, I don't think he's willing to solidify his legacy. I think he has work to be done in the super heavyweight category, and I will gladly hand that belt over. Here's the thing about me and my brother: we have this whole little game. I might as well just say it now. We are never gonna go up against each other. We are never gonna go. We like to let people think that though. We like the conversation of it, just to keep ourselves relevant, because wouldn't that be cool? But that Dana and everyone in Power Step, they know I they're not that dumb. They're not that dumb to put us together like that, because we'll make a whole lot of money.
Oh my gosh, that would be a tremendous show. That'd be the first ever in history in
Yep.
any combat sport. I mean, people in football have gone against each other and baseball, but something in combat sports, which a little more physical, not so much. But
Yeah.
anyway, Layne, what's your next opponent coming up? Is that lined up yet, or when are you looking to get back in there?
You know, I'm looking to get back in there anytime with anybody, and you know, obviously the next one has to be a rematch. I think people want to see that. I've been reading the comments, and I've been looking through my DMs, and everybody wants that rematch, because I set the narrative for it, you know. And I have not yet been told about a rematch. I've not been asked about a rematch, but I did set my tone to become the from, at least for me, a coach in Power Slap 10. So hopefully I get the call. Uh, Erica, Frank, you guys need a real coach. Every time I get in there, my coaches are fire, but they're not telling me what I'm doing wrong. They're only telling me that I'm great, just a great guy, eating his shit. Um, you know, but technical wise, I need someone in there that's telling me, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. Let's sharpen it up. I need I'm gonna do that for all the others that I actually coach on the red corner. Because if I become the coach, if they call me, I'm obviously gonna be coach for the red corner. Um, and I'm gonna be technical. I'm gonna be sound. I'm gonna let them know, what they can do better. I'm gonna be a real coach. I'm not just gonna be there to cheer you on. I'm gonna tell you the straight facts, the hard truth, and the things that you need to do to win.
And when is Power Slap 10?
December 6th in Vegas.
In Vegas, and you have yet to get the call? Have you yet to get the call?
No, not yet, man. I'm waiting still. They know I'm speaking it out into existence. I'm the coach. I'm just waiting for that call. It's gonna happen. Um, the more and more I talk about it, let's get the fans raving about it. Um, they want to see me up there, whether it be to take a slap, give a slap. But a lot of people don't understand that I've been training, fine tuning so much of these people, and my track record is almost 100%. Every person that I train gets bonuses. If you want that bonus, come on over to this corner and find out the secret sauce, and you'll be cashing yourself some checks.
Well, Layne, I know the logistics were hard to get you on before the fight, but I am so excited to get you on after the fight. I was there. I was watching it. I was cheering you on. I wanted you to get that knockout. And when I saw Herzog push his shoulders down, I said, "Oh boy, here comes a big one from the Crazy Hawaiian." And you almost got him. However, you did keep your belt. You kept it with a draw. Hopefully, next time from round one on, those shoulders come down on Dumpling and you get that shot in as quicker and get him out of there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, man. The connectivity. I mean, Abu Dhabi is such a great place, bro. But I was having to record on my phone and then find a little bit of a sweet spot just to stay there for about an hour to post one story. It got kind of nuts. Yeah, again, I love Abu Dhabi, and the hospitality is great. They just get up their internet.
Well, I appreciate the hospitality, but you coming on. Layne, the Crazy Hawaiian Viernes joined us again. Layne, we will get you back on as soon as your next fight's coming up.
Absolutely, brother. Much
Thanks,
love, bro.
buddy. I appreciate it. Shaka.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.